Wait a minute, Mr. Postman. Yeah, you right there, Mr. Postman. Hey, Mr. Postman, look at me. Is there a package just waiting for me? Where's my box? Where's my box? What's in the box?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of What's in the Box with the crazy man himself. So, recently went over to, I think it was on the snow day, the day that it started to snow, which is a few days ago, last week. And I went to support our local comic book retailer. And this one's called A&S. And here is the bag with their logo. And A&S, they have two locations. They have one on Bergen Line Avenue and the other one on Cedar Lane and Teaneck. The one's in North Bergen, one's in Teaneck. I went to the one in Teaneck, I believe. And yes, and it's my first time there. It's not a big establishment. It's probably maybe, I would say, 1,000 square feet. I'm not sure. 900 square feet. Thought maybe 1,000. But and I decided to just pick up some indies I never heard of. And this one right here is called Recipes for the Dead. Dark Delight with Cranberries. And it's by Vera Green Tea. So, you know, my name is Vera. You know, Sam the Crazy Man Vera. So I thought it was pretty cool. And then Ein Lee or In Lee. We'll see. In Lee. So, couple things. The art on the cover is pretty cool. When I look at the cover and I'm trying to guess what I'm seeing, I see someone on the cover who looks hypnotized or possessed. Then there's something happening on the eye over here, which looks like she's transforming or something, and then she's sitting on a skull. And it's almost like the Hansel and Gretel feel because there's treats all over. So I think with the cover, she did a good job of getting you to try to figure out what it is. So when you open it up, basically it's the same thing. Here is the inside of the book. The colorist did a great job with the tones and the color choices for this, and it starts off off the bat, everything looks cool, but as you go on into the book, there's some opportunities with the font sizes, based on trying to fit things in different squares. The font size changes throughout the book, and the balloons, sometimes the balloons are oversized or undersized. So I think that is just from trying to pack too much or not really. I don't know what the experience is with actual lettering, but I thought that was the only call out that I had. And I think it was because it was a smaller version of a comic book. This is not your typical size comic book. So here is the Crazies, right? So you can see the dimensions are very different. It's very smaller. So they were trying to pack enough into there. So it starts off with a young lady. Her name is Veronica. She is a independent bakery shop owner. She's an entrepreneur. She's invited to a housewarming. New neighbors who happen to move into a spooky house. A house that's been abandoned for a long time. And she's contemplating why she has to do it because, you know, she's trying to run her business with the bakery. So, you know, she's a little annoyed about having to go, but she's doing the neighborly thing. She sees this dude, his name is Elliot. She has the hots for Elliot, but he pays no mind to her. So, you know, she ends up saying what our boy's good for anyway. So here she goes approaching the house. As you can see here, you know, the font smaller here, gets bigger here, and gets even bigger here. Then the balloons are oversized. So those are the things, those are the call outs that I had. But then she mentions, you know, the house is still creepy. What was that in the window? It would have been nice to be able to see something in the window, maybe some eyes, a shadow, a silhouette, or something. And the perfect place to do that would have been in here. But either way, she's working on building the mood for the story. And so when I saw this page here, I thought there was gonna be like some Adam family that's gonna open up the door, or the door was gonna open up by itself. There's gonna be some creepy stuff. Maybe there was some creepy old man. It makes you start wondering what's on the next page. And when you open it up, you see this normal looking woman who opens the page, and she greets her, and she introduces her to her husband, who for some reason she looks older and he's very young, and I guess that's her man, so something's up with that relationship. She sees this shadowy figure over here, right over here, and if you can see my finger, and she's like, "Ooh, what was that?" And she takes notice of it. So they're being overly friendly. She was the only one that accepted the invitation. She's at the house. She's caught staring at whatever it is, and the woman notices, and she goes, "It's best not to stare at my poppet." Whatever a poppet is not, it didn't say puppet, it's poppet. So she offers her the Hansel and Gretel cookies. These cranberry cookies obviously is having some sort of effect on her, because it gives her this shocking boom over here. It's like this shock of electricity. She's like, this is so good. This is delicious. Oh my gosh, I need the recipe so I can make my get out of the red with my bakery and start bringing in some revenue. This would be a hot item. The woman refuses to give her recipe. She says no. If it gets into the wrong hands, obviously, and they put an arrow right here that she gets, she's the wrong hands, and she goes, "I don't get it," and she says, "Don't eat anymore." It's for the other guests. And she says, "What other guests? I'm the only one who showed up," and she doesn't understand what's going on. That shadowy figure is still watching her. So the woman decides to go and bring her husband some tea, leaves her alone in the kitchen. And of course, there it goes. There's the book on the table. So you just get invited to a housewarming, and you're going to jack up and steal the family recipe book. 5-figure discount in action. So she takes it and she dips. She's out the door. And so you see here again, here's the same example with the font issues. So you got it really small over here. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. You got it really small here, then you got a really big font here, then you got a medium-sized font here. So I don't know if that's like a 8, then a 10, then a 12. I'm not sure, but the font sizes keep changing. It becomes distracting. When they're trying to, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me. But the artwork is awesome. I think they did a good job. So she books. She's heading out, and she leaves. And the woman goes and checks in the kitchen, notices that the book is gone. And so the girl happens to run into Elliot again. And now Elliot is attracted to her. He's invited her to a party. Then he wants to invite her to a private party. And he's trying to push up on her. And she's like, "Oh, this is crazy. I'm out." Pew. And she's like, "Oh, everyone's acting up." So now she gets home. She changes and she goes into the kitchen to start baking with the recipes, and in her bag is that spooky little thing, the puppet, that followed her home. So on the back she has her acknowledgments, and it says, "Dark Delight Cranberries. If it is your delight to charm hordes of strangers, pull on your lace apron and bake this spicy cookie. The russet-colored dough and burgundy cranberries will enchant the grimace of bachelors, along with his dour associates. Your popularity is guaranteed amongst all upon the consumption of this dessert. So truly tread with care." So I guess that's the recipe, and that's the impact that it has. Then it has information about her and the artist. And it's Green Tea Publishing, and and I'm assuming it's self-published. I think Green Tea is probably her thing, because when you go to the front, it's Vera Green Tea. So good job. It was $5.99. I was hesitant about paying for it, but then I was like, you know what? I haven't splurged in a long time, so I'm gonna give it a shot, and I'm gonna support an indie. if worth $5.99, it should have been a few more pages. Should have been a little thicker. And I love the art. The artwork is really good. The pacing, I think it moves too quickly. I think you could have added some more suspense to this, but overall, it's a good read. If you're into spooky, goosebumps, sometimes gothic type stuff, this is a book for you. Next week on What's in the Box, I will be checking out where we already burned half the print run and are charging triple. Don't know. This is done by, doesn't tell me who's the publisher. I guess you're going to have to find out next week. So next week I'm going to knock this out. And if you're an indie out there and you want your book featured on What's in the Box, send me a copy. You can send me a PDF copy, or you can send me a or hard copy. Just send an email to me at contact@catchthecraze.com, contact@catchthecraze.com, and I'll send you the address and P.O. Box, and you can send it over, or you can hit me up with a PDF, and we'll get you on What's in the Box. And if you want to take it even a step further, we'll get you on the show on Catch the Craze, and we'll talk about it. So I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Don't forget, our Kickstarter kicks off on January 14th. January 14th is Catch the Crazy issue number 2. So our landing page is there. The link is available. Go and secure your spot on the landing page. We hope to see you soon. Have a great day. Happy holidays.
What's in the box?